Hello everyone, welcome to ET Youth. It's the last Friday of the month. Thank you so much for being here. As usual, what is ET Youth? ET Youth is a talk show, it's a hybrid talk show that we have physical audience and also online audience such as you over here. Physical audience, you're here, please make some noise. Yeah, so we are a hybrid talk show, and what we do is we want to empower youth to discover their passion, discover who they are, and be the best version of themselves. At the same time, featuring all the successful stories of people who are living extraordinary life. So I hope you enjoy today's show. So why am I holding these clippers right now?
Clappers.
Sorry, clappers. It's so obvious that I'm not from the production line or anything, but it's just so weird to not knowing the name. Okay, this is a clapper. So it's an action. Yeah, I'm going to put this down. So ET Youth is actually brought to you by ET Ideas. ET Ideas is a social business incubator that empower people from within to follow your heart and discover what you love to do. From passion and make it into your career, and eventually you will impact the people around you. So that's what ET Ideas is about. So other than that, we would like to show you what else that we have in ET Youth. Actually, when we are in the online audience, it's a bit different. And if you are in the physical audience, we do have like a photo session that's going on. Sometimes we have different kinds of games that are going on. Today, we have even more interesting storytelling going on. That's why
Pressure.
that's why we have our very special guest over here. So if you're there, can you please just say hello to us, online audience? Yeah, thank you, Allah. Yeah, thank you, Allah. Yo, Allah has this very hip hop style of saying
Yo.
hi. Yo, yeah. So if you are there, please do drop in the chat box. Say hi to us. Say hello. Tell us how's your day and where you're tuning in from. Because some of us in the audience actually, there's a few of us are tuning in from a different time zone. Some are from the US. So thank you so much for being here with us at ETU. So yes, let's Yashika say hey. Let's Maha say hey.
Can we all give a big round of applause to Caroline, the host?
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what else to say. Okay, coming back to what we have here today. Who we have here today. So we have Sanadt here. Sanadt is an amazing person, and I have this pre-interview with Sanadt. And there's a lot of stories that I want to cram in this 1 hour. Until now, I still haven't decided which is the main thing that I want to put in, because everything is so interesting.
It's like, you know how you go Netflix, then you just look at all of the content and you cannot decide what you want to do. So after 1 hour, you just go to bed. So
yeah. So don't go to bed, stay with us right
yes,
now.
We have content for you guys.
We definitely have content for you. So Sanadt here is a successful, he's only 22 years old, a very young, successful filmmaker who won awards, not one, not two, it's multiple awards throughout the years. And the most recent award is Best Documentary Film from Los Angeles.
Yeah, Best Inspirational Film for the Los Angeles Film Awards in December 2022.
Yes, can we give Sanadt a round of applause? So it's amazing. I feel so honored to be interviewing a superstar over here. Definitely. I mean, you are the person behind the scene, but you're also the storyteller, the person that went through all of that amount of work, the effort, the hours to get the juicy story. And what a juicy story! It's not just any drama or things like that. Real life story that people who have followed their heart, people who are very passionate in the things that you do, and how currently they're also impacting other people's life. So other than being a filmmaker, Sanadt is also the COO of Ascendance. Ascendance is an international youth movement that has won Diana Award in year 2019, and currently they have impacted youth students all over the world, and they have online they have virtual platform that you can tune in and be connected to the whole team, be connected, an archive bank of entrepreneurs, archive bank of people who have turned their passion into careers, people who are, there's so many different things that's going on the platform itself. So other than that, they are also going around, they are also endorsed by Ministry of Education Malaysia. to run different kinds of program, and companies from international companies, Fortune 500 companies from US are actually also supporting Ascendance in their goals and their cause of impacting 1 million teens. There's so many things going on at Ascendance. There's at least more than 50 events in a month. More than that, actually, really more than that. So he's a very busy person over here, but I managed to get him, so I'm very happy about that.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you, just as an icebreaker, I talk too much, so I want Sanadt to talk right now. So just as an icebreaker, what is the function of this thing?
Okay, this is a clapper, or it's called a slate in some productions and so on. So what they do is basically, so you know how there's 5 or 6 different cameras. Sometimes there is you have somebody who's holding a microphone, somebody's holding a camera. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 different cameras, and everyone does not press the record button on the same time. So you'll get one camera that presses the record button first, and then another one there, another one there, another one there. So to synchronize all of the cameras, once all of the cameras have hit record and all of the microphones have started recording, you do this, and this sound is what you refer to when you want to synchronize all of your cameras. So that's how they do multi-camera production, and that's why there's slate. And of course, there's things like the roll, and there's things like shot number and scene number and so on, so that when the editor looks at this, he knows, okay, this is scene 1, this is shot 1, and sometimes the directors will say, use shot 7 of this particular, or take 7 of this particular shot. So this is the thing that they used to refer to and so on. So that's what this is.
There's so many information to process.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's a very important tool.
Okay, so I'm just gonna put this aside. Action. Okay, so the first question that I have is actually from the we have online audiences that actually have asked
Hi,
us
online
questions.
audiences.
Yes, please say hi to Sanadt over here. There's many people still saying hi. Hi, Christina, you're back. Glad you're back. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Huisin. Hi, Edward. Okay, thank you so much for being here. So, just the first question that people ask is, why documentary film?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, very quickly into this thing.
Yes.
But before that, I just want to share one more thing. So, ETU is a show that's very, very close to my heart.
Oh, okay.
Mainly because when I first started off when I wanted to do video production, the very first project I worked on was actually ETU. We had Ramya and we had Nikki Cheng, both of them who are my friends, my mentors, who have been helping us out a lot.
Yeah, Nikki is
and
here.
Hi, Nikki. And when we first started, one of the first few shows that I was working on was this, together with Ramya and Nikki and everyone in that sense, from editing to slowly learning how to set the show up, to slowly recording this thing. It was where I started and where I came from. And like many, and even Ascendance, me, Madhura, Kira, and Hasha, the founders of Ascendance, were all audience in ETU. Once we were sitting there listening to the speakers there, and that's how we made amazing connections. That's how we started what we wanted to start. And without ETU and without the wonderful people behind ETU, support team today, people like Caroline and so on, I don't think I'll be where I am. So thank you so much to ETU for being the best show ever.
Wow. Okay. Yes, as you can see on screen right now, that is a snippet of actually we kind of stalk Sanadt on his Facebook, and yes, and we look at the posting that he did. This is one of the pictures that in his earlier days at ETU, setting up the space, and it's very wonderful of what he shared, how he started. So if you want to read more about the story of how he started, you can go and go follow Sanadt on his Facebook, or just be friends with him on Facebook, or just stay tuned because I'm going to ask a question too.
Yep.
So
stalk my 30th September 2022 post. And you will realize.
It's very possible that this post suddenly have many likes all
Sure.
of a sudden.
Okay.
Okay, so coming back to the question, so we know that you are an award-winning documentary film director. So, and the thing is, the first question that comes to mind, it's not just me alone. I thought I'm the only one going to ask question, but since the audience are also very curious, why documentary film in the first place? Because there's so many types of film. You have melodrama, you have, I don't know, thrillers,
Rom-coms.
stuff like that. Rom-coms, yes. So why documentary film?
Okay. I think like 2 reasons. One is making any film is a process. There's a lot to learn, and a lot of times a lot of filmmakers will always say that, like, pick something that you are very passionate about, the kind of films that you really want to tell. So when it came down to dramas or series or scripted content, in that sense, it's something that I do like, but I really enjoy talking to people. I really enjoy having conversations with people, and I really enjoy listening to some of the stories that they tell me that no one would, like, you would never know these kind of stories, you know. And these are the conversations that made me realize, hey, maybe we just need to put all the cameras in front of someone and make them feel like there's no camera at all, and you know, you and I can just have a beautiful, truthful conversation with each other, and that could be a film, and that could be shared with audiences. And I feel like that's something that I personally am very interested in. I like observing people's thoughts. I like observing how they function, and putting those in a long format for people to watch and so on. So document is something that I'm a bit more passionate about.
Okay. There's something interesting that you mentioned earlier in our pre-interview, like how we view life as a movie.
Okay.
You know, how things are in movies itself. They have opening. After that, there's challenges, and after that, there's something like, you know, just in that 2 hours, a person from non-successful becomes so successful, and suddenly we feel like I too can dance, I too can do step up, I too can sing. If you have that, do you guys ever
Yes.
felt like after
Yeah.
you watch a movie? Yeah.
I can fight the aliens who invade me.
Yes, suddenly I can do martial art. Me too, and you go hoop ha. But it's just
And then you realize, ow, shoulder pain, ow, back pain.
Can you tell us a little bit more of that kind of perspective of why people view things that way, and why that's the reason why you want to feature more
People.
story.
Okay. So I think before we talk about Wanted, the main reason why any of this works is actually because of Ascendance and the work we do in Ascendance. So Ascendance, you guys know, is an international youth organization that works with more than 58,000 students from 20 different countries, 900 different communities. And what we do is we build platforms, and we give youngsters the resources that they need for them to go out there and figure out their passion, go out there and change the world in the ways that they want to change the world. And we've done so many different things, from our Global Young Changemakers Conference. We did a 48-hour summit last year with 50 overseas youth executive speakers. We had our entire Malaysia tour, where we went around to different schools all over the country and so on. And throughout this last 6-7, Essence reaching its 8th year actually, going to different schools and meeting different people, there's many issues that we slowly start to uncover with regards to how students are. But the issue that was very, very personal to me was how much the movies we watch actually affect us as people.
Okay.
A lot of things in our lives are actually dictated by the movies that we watch, whether you realize it or not. Your perceptions with regards to how a parent and a kid needs to be, like the relationship between a parent and a kid is decided by what you see in movies. Or things like how a relationship should be like, or friendships should be like, or your own personal, from your ego to the good things about things and so on. Everything is somehow or other dictated by the content we consume. And when I say content, it's not just with regards to movies. Now there's streaming, and now even more than that, there's Reels, which is the most addictive thing on the planet. I can watch Reels for 2 hours and not do anything at all with my life. Just scroll. But that's content, And whatever you see there, from political ideologies to psychological things, everything that you consume is actually going directly into your subconscious mind, and that actually programs you as a person. So if you're generally growing up watching this type of movie, you can actually pinpoint and see how that person's characters is like, based on the kind of content that they consume. For me, this is very problematic, because I always loved watching superhero movies and all this kind of stuff. And here you are thinking, we need to be a very right and justice person who must go out there and do things.
Power Rangers.
But you realize that it's not exactly like that. Reality is not really like that. There's struggles, there's days where you will feel really bad, there's days where you will disappoint people. But at the end of the day, there's something beautiful about all these processes that you're going through. So for me, I would not have realized these things or seen these things if I didn't work on Assonance and went through the really bad moments and the really good moments. And I thought, hey, wouldn't it be nice if more movies shared about these kind of contents? And there are many movies that do this. Many filmmakers are doing this actually. But there needs to be more of these things. Like, people need to celebrate these things a bit more. And I thought, hey, can we do documentaries about people who are taking the road less traveled? They do things that nobody really want to do. We talk about their struggles, we talk about their personal issues, we talk about what made them into who they are. Like the film that we're about to release on March 26th is about a former gangster, from Kuala Langat, an estate in Kuala Langat, who became the SEA Games bronze medalist for chess in 2013. The fact that these two things exist in the same sentence, it makes no sense at all, that a former gangster becomes a pro chess player. But exploring topics like this, like why would you let go of that life, and what happened to you, and why do you choose to play chess right now? These are stories that I feel that people will benefit a lot. And it's mainly because of Essence, because of how what we've been learning through our work with Essence. We realized that, okay, maybe there's a need for more content like this, and that's why we're doing what we do.
Okay, now I'm super curious. Okay, those who are here, everyone here, and those who are online, if you have questions, just drop it in the chat box actually. And I'm just going to read out one of the comments because I found it's quite funny actually. It's so entertaining. After watching Ip Man 1 and 2, suddenly I felt like I can mix Wing Chun with Silat. Okay, good for you. I did but okay, and he says something that he watched. I watch movies and focuses on social issues lately. So I always feels like society played a role into shaping someone.
Yeah. I think movies do that in that sense. Like, see, some of the biggest social issues that are going on right now, I think the best form for it to reach out to people is actually through movies.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have heard about issues like, you take Avatar for example, the recent one that came out. At the core of Avatar 2, it's about the whaling problem, and it's about protecting our oceans and taking care of our oceans. But somebody had to make a fictional story about fictional whales and about what's happening there for us to realize, hey, this is a problem that's happening on a day-to-day basis, and we should do something about it. So I guess movies have those powers.
Wow, very interesting. yes, definitely. I agree with you. Movie have those powers. But coming back to that, the earlier sharing that you had about the work that you done in the sentence is what drive you to be a documentary filmmaker. It's what drive you to produce the content that you produce today about real life story, real life struggles, real life success of everyday people. Maybe the person who's sitting next to you, the kind of story that everyone can what is that word called? Relate to, yes, can relate to that kind of so-called, I think it's called acknowledgement that everyone is going through the same thing. So what can you give us an example of how do you work with Essence, how the work in Essences that you do drive you to do what you do today?
Okay, let's take 1 to 3 for an example. 1 to 3 is the one that's coming out recently. One of the biggest problems that we've been facing with regards to working with students is they're always, there's the students that are really smart in terms of their education. I was one of the students in the sense that they will score very well in their exams, they'll do really good, and but when they go out of school, they have a different set of struggles that they need to face. Understanding the discrepancy between reality and what they're taught. But there's other group of students who are usually, I won't say outcasts, but they're not really much looked at because they're the ones who don't really score well in the exams. Different types of intelligence in that sense. They have skills that they're interested in, sports that they're interested in, and so on. But for me to go and tell them, hey, you can do something really amazing with your life. And this is what we have been doing. We've been bringing speakers to come in and share. Genkis himself, the person behind this documentary, the subject of the documentary, he's been coming to different schools and sharing his stories and so on. And we do workshops for these people. Our first year in Essence, our programs were actually catered to the middle to last classes to just see what are the things that engages these people, what are the things that they need in order for them to grow and so on. Does it need to be us, like the four of us as people? Does it need to be someone younger or someone a bit more older? So different groups of students, different people will relate to. But now when you know that there's someone like Genkis who came from the worst backgrounds, who was an SPM dropout, who didn't score really well in his exams, turned out to be a national hero, and turned out to now work with more than 5,000 students. He's producing students who are beating grandmasters, who are going out to countries like China and Mongolia and winning awards and so on. These are things that you would have not normally known. But if you have a film that tells you, hey, this is someone like you, who's exactly like you, and he went out there and he did different things, that makes a difference. And I feel like that will make a difference in people's lives. And that's why we want to make these films, and that's what Essence is trying to do in that sense. Look at what a certain group of students need, and then provide them with that content that we want to do. And we're still learning, we're still exploring, we're still figuring out how to properly bring the right kind of content to the right kind of people as we go on.
Very interesting, actually. So it's not just about, not just about producing the content that you want, but how does it impact the people that is watching the content?
Yeah. I think that's every film. But again, like for me, I'm still learning how to do this properly, because the more we travel, the more we meet people, the more we understand the audience, the more we realize what the audience actually need. Like while going to this middle to last class students, talking to this kind of people, I personally knew some of my friends who were like that in that sense. That's where you get an idea, okay, let's make a film about this person that will cater to these audiences. Our previous film was about Agnes Mary. Agnes Mary is a traditional Bharatanatyam dance teacher. And she did something amazing where when she was 20 years old, she took a flight to India by herself.
Yeah.
With no support, with
There's no
anything
internet
else
at
on.
that time.
She just went to India for like 9 months and did her Bharatanatyam dance, the whole course, everything like that. And she's so excited. She finished her Arangetram. It's a debut performance on stage. And then she came back home with this need to start a dance academy. And she got married, and 10 years just passed. Nothing happened for 10 years. And I asked her, like, Agnes, what happened to you for 10 years? And just saying, it's just normal things just went on with life. I was cleaning, I was cooking, I was taking care of the family, I was doing this, and she completely forgot that thing. And 10 years later, she found back that passion, and now she's helping students who are normally rejected by these dance academies, and she gives them a voice. So, like, that story really worked very well with people who have a passion and why it's important to follow their heart. But also really worked well with parents who have gone through something similar like this. And so, like, you never know what audience your film caters to. And I'm still learning this. Like, I'm barely scratching the surface for understanding the audience. And I feel like the travel and the work that we do in Excellence, that's what's going to help me understand the audience better. Because if you don't have that audience connection or like the connect with the people, then it's very hard to make films or content for them.
You're just living in your own world.
A lot of films are shocks and indie films.
So, yeah, truly speaking, I watched Wanted 1 and Wanted 2, and prepare tissue if you want to watch.
I thought it was okay, and then people say they cried for it.
No, it's because it's very heartfelt. You can feel the person, you can feel the soul, the heart, the passion that relatable to your own life. Even if you're not, let's say with Agnes, you're not married or something like that, but you somehow deep down you have something that you wanted to do, but you're so scared, or there's life happens.
Something happened
like
and you couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's very relatable. And with Madura, Wanted 1, Madura is also amazing. It's so Madura is at that time Madura was the CEO of Ascendance. Okay, and now she's the CEO of ET, I guess.
Yes, we will revisit Madura's Wanted some other time. But I think with that film, what we wanted to do is cater to young adults. Especially people who are just finishing their college and they're coming into the working world, or they're starting out with their work. And many of the Assurance members now actually relate to that story because you're coming into that understanding that, oh my God, you're an adult, and you need to take care of stuff and you need to do things. And I feel like that film really, really speaks to that crowd. So if you are around that age, please do go. But if you're not around the age, please do go and watch the film as well, because you will feel what it was like to be in the beginning stages of doing something big.
Correct. And also, having the title of, CEO, having the title of a leaders and things like that.
It sounds very glamour.
It sounds very glamour, but behind the scene of it, do you know what's the struggle? Do you know how much of an effort, how much of tears, blood, and I don't know, I'm being dramatic right now.
Dramatic.
Yes. But since we are mentioning this, is there opportunity for those audiences online and those are here who wants to rewatch those Wanted 1 and Wanted 2? Where do we
you can actually watch it on ETBoost YouTube channel, or you can head over to wantedtheseries.com. We have our information about our current film up there, but if you scroll down a little bit more, you can actually watch Wanted 1 and 2. Do go and watch it, and if you can, please post a short review or write something about it, because it'll be very, very helpful for us. And that's where you can watch it.
So now currently you're watching ET Boost YouTube, so just click subscribe right now.
Yes, subscribe.
Subscribe, and you can also go ahead and watch Wanted 1 and Wanted 2 on ET Boost, or like how Sanadt mentioned, we can drop the website in the chat box for you to just click and find out more. But remember to come back here and click the like button and tune in back, because there's more questions coming in. Okay, so this is wonderful. I'm going to take a question from the audience actually, and I think it's very related to what you just shared also. When and how did you know that this was your true calling?
Big questions. I don't know how to answer this question. It's such a big question. When do you know it's true calling? Honestly, you don't. You'll never know if this is your true calling in that sense. I have this ability to tell stories, and I want to work on this ability. People have been telling me that it's raw talent, like you have to hone the talent much more in many years to come. And I have this beautiful cause called Ascendance that is going out there helping tons and tons of people to uplift their life and so on. So if I don't do films for Ascendance, then that kind of doesn't make sense anymore. You see, the two things that I really love the most, which is movies and Ascendance and the work we do, there's an opportunity for both of this to become together. And I can tell stories about Ascendance and the different things that we're doing, the different communities we're trying to impact. And it's very exciting to do that. It's very exciting to do that. And I feel like, and I hope I can continue doing more of these things in the next year to come, especially.
Okay, we're going to digest that answer.
If there's a few things that you really love and a few things are supposed to come together and you can see the connection, please work on that thing. If you don't work on that thing,
but the follow-up question is, how do you find that? I mean, there's so many things that you can do. Like, for example, in film itself, you see there's rom-com, there's comedy, there's...
You try a few things. You try
so
a
many
few
stuff.
things.
So
Okay, I mean, I cannot write rom-coms. I will cry if I write rom-coms. If I write horror movie, the ghost will be scared of me. That's how terrible the writing will be like. Drama is something I'm very interested in. It's like those really emotional kind of stories that revolve around people. Something I'm very interested in exploring a little bit more. Series is something that I also am looking to explore because I like the format of series. 6 episodes or 10 episodes. The first 2 episodes are usually introduction of characters and so on. So that's something that I'm interested in. But the thing that I'm really most interested in is documentaries, because like you keep trying different things, and then there's something that you feel like, hey, this works. Like I love getting people to share about themselves and getting them to us and creating spaces where they feel comfortable to be truthful. And I feel like that comes, if I need to be a very truthful person for that, for the subject to be that way in that sense. So if I can continue creating spaces like this for people to share what they really feel, maybe that'll make a difference in that sense. So, yeah. Like one example is, if you look at Agnes's film, Agnes is someone who, I ask her one question, she can give me 5 answers. And she will be very truthful. She'll tell you everything that you need to tell. Like I don't have to write the script anymore for her. I ask her one question and I just throw away my script and listen to it. For the next 1 hour, she'll tell me all the stories I need. I would have gotten everything I need for this film and then I left already. But Jen is not like that. Jen is someone who's very reserved and he takes his time to share what he really wants to share. So the whole bit where he was a former gangster before that and what happened, we purposely put that interview on the last day of the shoot. That means there's been like 6-7 days of shoot before that already, where I'm talking about different stories about chess, about the work he's doing, and so on. And at the same time, I'm trying to introduce him to everyone in the team, make sure he's comfortable. And I keep having conversations with him, even off camera, to just talk to him more about what it was like back then, So instead, on the final day when he actually shared about his experience of him, being a former gangster and the problems he faced and what happened to him later on, it came out very well. But it took us that 5-6 days to warm him up. So these are things that I'm excited to explore. Every documentary will have someone different, someone who don't want to share certain things, someone who want to share certain things. And it's working with people. It's getting them to be open enough and truthful enough to share what we want to share. And that I find that very exciting.
Yeah, I love that about your documentary film, definitely. So speaking about truthfulness,
yes. Are you not asking this question?
Can you share with us something like, we have questions here that people are asking from the Google form that we sent out and all, and somebody was asking that there are times that we feel down and we want to quit or stop doing something. So far, it's producing the documentary film. So far, listening to getting awards, and you were featured in, I don't know, I keep seeing you in the news nowadays, which is amazing. Can we give Sanadt a round of applause for yes, it's amazing to see you on the news, and the stories run so fun. Everybody is watching, everybody is tuning in, and I think everybody is getting excited with Wanted 3 premiere, which is happening this March 26th.
At CJ Pack, one Tama will tell you more details.
Yes, we definitely tell you more details. So just hold on a second, hold your horses. Yes, we have so many. this is only one of the slides. Actually, I have so many
Yeah.
slides of you. So I'm just going to show one first.
There's
If you want to know
more.
more, just Google Sanadt Kumar. Then yeah, you will find out
Okay.
how many times he's featured in the media itself. It's amazing. So come back to the question. Everything's amazing, right? So can you?
Okay.
Okay. Do you face any like challenges throughout your career, and you feel like you're down, or you feel you're insecure, you feel that you're gonna quit, but you keep going? Can you share a story of that?
That is today. This morning until 7:59 p.m. before this interview came inside here.
Okay, do
In
that.
that sense. I like what Caroline does. Caroline can always bring the most relevant story in that sense. It's always going to be there. So recently, one very interesting thing that has been happening is with the light of Wanted 3, that means people are excited about Wanted 3. There's a lot of publications, a lot of media appearances coming out in that sense, which is very tiring, but also very fun. Thank you so much to all of the wonderful reporters who keep writing good stories about us. People are interested for Wanted 1, interested in Wanted 2 to be screened in different places. People are interested in Wanted 3 being put on different media platforms and so on. And this is a very tedious process for us because initially these films were made for YouTube content. And now we're going through like re-edits and changing formats. TV stations have different formats, some have different formats. So we're looking at all of this formatting, this, that, and all. So we're working on these kind of things. And so the whole day today was just me feeling like, is this even going to work or not? Can we do this? Is this a good enough thing for it to be somewhere? And all of these feelings will always consistently happen. Honestly, for me, every 2-3 days once. Okay, I'll be honest with you guys. Okay, every 1-2 days once, it'll always come and go. And I kept thinking, like, why am I spending so much time working on these 3 films when I could be working on the 4th one that we're planning out right now, which is an amazing, amazing story. But what I cannot see is that the opportunity that's being given to me is beautiful because I'm learning so much. Like, I'm learning how to properly do this well and what are the nitty-gritty processes behind it, so that the moment the next one comes, we're ready to send it out to different festivals, we're ready to send it out to different stations, and the learning process is happening. But it's very easy to get absorbed into the work and feel stress and panic about the work that you forget what the goal actually is. The goal is to make films that are going to impact youngsters, impact hundreds and millions of youngsters. So for that to happen, we need to learn all of these small things. We need to go through all of these ups and downs, this and that and everything like that. And many times, like you feel like you don't want to continue, you feel like you don't want to do, but my friends, Hirash and Madhura, will always say this to me. Whenever I'm going off, they will come and say this to me. Or whenever either one of them is going off, either one of us will help us out in that sense where, are you focused on the goal or not? Are you focused on the bigger picture of why you're doing this or not? Like, all of these problems, is it worth it? Because like, if you overcome this, will this help you in the long run? Of course it will. So if you can see that and stay focused on the goal, then the good days where you are on the media and you are doing all sorts of things, and the bad days when you're feeling so down, so insecure, it's both the same thing. It's both similar lessons you're supposed to learn. How to manage yourself throughout this whole process. And I won't go out and say things like, you'll become so strong that you won't have any insecurity at all and everything like that. If you have insecurity, you have insecurity. There's no discern in that sense. Harsha said this to me very, very nicely. She said, security comes by doing just your work properly. Like, if you're like the work that you are doing, if you just do your work properly, you will feel secure. And not compare yourself with, oh, this person is doing this thing better, or that person will do this thing better. This filmmaker is doing much more better than me, or my friend is growing faster than me, or slower than me. You just say, okay, you know what? Everybody is doing their own thing. Like, Caroline is doing her own thing. I'm doing my own thing. I'm just going to do my thing and I'm going to do it properly. And like, can I do it better? Can I do it better? Can I do it better? The more you keep doing that, the more secure you'll feel about yourself. And it's a learning process even for me.
Yeah, it's like this, the gist of ET Youth Talk Show, actually. If you remember in the earlier, before we start the talk show, we have a very nice, fun clip that
with the llama.
Yeah, we happened to play with the llama, with the orange, and also the apples. And there's no judgments, no comparison, and just have fun. Just focus on what you want to do. Yeah, basically, that's why we have Sanadt here, talking on ET.
You.
Okay, a lot of us, many of us here, and also you guys who are online, I believe we're not from that industry of filmmaking. And I'm very curious about, the challenges that you spoke about. Can you spill a little bit details of
Sure.
what
Details
is
and challenges.
what is the things that you say that the things that you need to learn, the things that you need to overcome, and it's overwhelming, but it's good for wanted for. What is the thing that you mentioned?
Okay, I think there's audience questions coming up as well. Comments coming up.
Yes, there is. Let me look. Well
Okay.
said, Sanadt, so true. Okay, Jimmy said it's awesome.
Sure.
Hadi, thank you so much, Hadi, for keep commenting and let us know your
Yay.
views also. He's watched historical and fact explanation documentaries because need answers and other opinions, not for entertainment sake, which is, I think, is good. It's amazing.
That's what documentaries help out a lot.
Yeah, so we're not going to dodge the question that I asked just now. We come back to the question. Can you?
I'm so sorry. What was the question again?
We're going to dive into the details.
Okay, challenges, details. Everything that can possibly go wrong will go wrong. Okay.
Murphy law.
Yes. Everything that can possibly, potentially go wrong will go wrong. 1 to 3 is something that it's a good example of that. The first day, me being a very amateur filmmaker, decided that I will be both the production manager and the director. Biggest mistake of my life. And we got someone else, Maha, who's just 19.
Okay, you got to explain to us what does the director do, what does the production.
So the director works on the creative aspect of the film. That means he's looking at like in documentary case, is the talent or the subject of the documentary, is he comfortable, is he okay, what are the questions we're going to ask, we're going to ask you this, we're going to shoot this. This is the tone, this is the, like I'll tell the camera people, this is the tone, I want it to be bright, I want to be happy, I want it to be sad, and they'll do the lighting for me based on that, in that sense. And your job is to just make sure that the creative aspect of it, the whole aspect, is being managed and watched in different departments. So production manager is someone who is the mom on set, who make sure things go according to schedule, make sure everybody is fed, make sure everybody is compliant with protocols, all sorts of things. Or is the Wonder Team. The Wonder Team is such, it's an amazing team.
We have some photos of
I'm gonna just quickly mention that's Maha. Maha is a 19-year-old production manager, and you can see the youngest one behind there is actually 15 years old. His name is Brunel. He was a part of our light and camera setup crew. The guy with the hat is Sharvin. Sharvin is our cinematographer. He loves camera, and his camera work is really good. The guy in the glasses is Kavi. Kavi is also part of the camera and the technical department as well. And the guy with the long hair is me. I mean, I don't know why I have long hair in this. And that's us in a location shooting a particular interview and so on. So yeah, this team of really young people. And one more person actually is Hira. Hira is a singer-songwriter musician, and she also composed some of the soundtrack for this film as well. So all of them have their different roles to play, and the director's role is to work with everyone to make sure the final product comes out well, kind of thing. So locations will go wrong, food won't arrive at time when it's supposed to arrive, the cast won't arrive. We had a day where our location just got cancelled, so I had to find another location on that day specifically and get the shoot done in that sense. But we loved every moment of it. Like we had so much fun, like dodging this and dodging that and doing this and doing that.
So that's the production manager's.
Yeah. Production manager is to make sure that the production goes well on that particular day.
Okay.
And make sure everybody has everything that they need in order for them to do the work.
Okay, so what's your role then?
My role is the creative part of it, the director.
So the director creative. So that's somebody is asking. The director is the mind master for the film production or the process?
It's both in a way. The producer is the person who makes sure that the product comes out well. That means, is everyone paid? Do they have the funds to do these things?
Okay.
Who do they need? What kind of talent do they need? What kind of equipment do they need? So producer does this thing. The director looks at, now I have all of the things that the producer has given me. The crew, the cast, the people, the equipment, everything, I have that ready.
Okay.
Now the director's job is, how do I use all of this to create a final product?
Okay.
So that's why producer and director is very important in both sense, in that sense.
Amazing. So Hadi, I hope that answer your question. And if you want to find out more, we're going to drop Sanatt's Instagram in the chat box. You just DM Sanatt, ask your question to Sanatt more.
Yes.
I think that's more technical part and things like that. So it's a very valid and very interesting question actually. And we would love to know more. But coming back to the question again. So what was the challenges?
I was telling you the challenges. Okay. Look, so we had one day on set where our location did not work because of one form not being sent from one department to another department.
Okay.
Which means here's 4 cars of people with equipment and stuff and everything at 6 a.m. in the morning at the location, which is a 1.5 hour drive from here. And we have nowhere to go to shoot this thing because we couldn't use the location on that day. So we had to like make a few calls, and then we had to find a house, and this person's house is available until 12 p.m. that day. And by the time we reached there, it's 11 a.m. So by the time I set up my camera, 12 p.m. already. So now I'm like, oh no, our second location is a no-go. So we had to find a third location. And the third location is actually in Jen's house. We had to go there. And here's me thinking, here's the first half of my entire shoot day just completely gone because we cannot do anything anymore. Kind of thing. It was a very sad day on that day. But on that day, we shot things that I never would have thought we would have shot. Some very, very beautiful interactions between Jen and his family, and the different people that were there on that day. And it was a very fun interaction that actually made it to the end of the end product. When you guys were watching, you can watch it on. And that wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for this mistake kind of thing that happens. But now I know that, okay, permits are very important, location permits are very important. So like you learn on the job, like as much as people say you need to learn everything first and go kind of thing. Gratefully, these 3 films that we did is self-produced. It's produced by EDBoost and so on. So we had room to learn, grow, explore and everything. But of course, when you go under someone's production and you have producers involved in it, you have money involved in it, you have to make sure that you do a good job and all that. So like we're still learning that part of it. So the more we learn, hopefully we get bigger projects that we can work on.
That's great, actually. That's great. I didn't know that there's so many things to consider.
I also didn't know that there's so many things.
I thought, just take camera and this what? Flippers? Clappers? Clappers. You have clappers, you have camera, you have the light person, you have the person who's very good at video, and there you go, a movie.
Yeah, it's a lot more to this. I actually study in Toronto Film School. I do their diploma in video production, and like there's so many aspects of filmmaking that we don't really know. There's producing. There is something interesting that I'm learning right now. It's called marketing for films. So way before a film is announced, years before the film is announced, people start marketing about the film. So what is that process like? Like what we're doing right now, talk shows, interviews, and so on. That's marketing for our premiere that's happening on March 26th at PJ Pack.
Stay tuned. We will release shortly.
Okay, but you get the point. And there's different aspects of it that we don't really know. Sound design is something I really didn't know. Like you have to put so much emphasis into sound design. Like every sound you hear is either fabricated in a studio, or it's somebody will actually go and record footstep and they will record the sound of this room.
Yeah, I'm so curious. I want to follow you guys around next time.
Can. We do need a lot of people as crew and support for our next movie.
Yeah,
so please
follow Sanadt,
let me know.
DM me. That you want to follow him around.
Let me know if you're interested to come, because there's a lot of shoots that we need to do and a lot of people that we need.
Amazing. Okay. Sorry, what's the question again?
I like how she's asking what's the question.
I'm just so excited. And my mind just goes like, oh, where am I going with Sanadt and the crew? Things like that. So I'll DM you. So anyway, coming back here. Actually, I wanted to pause for a moment and let anyone here who have questions, if you want to ask, you can ask now. Do you want to ask any question?
Yes.
Okay, yes, please go ahead. And I will rephrase it because the mic can't pick up your voice. Yeah.
Out of all the wanted, which is your favorite one and which is the most fun experience you had?
No.
Okay, so there's an audience here in the physical event right now. Says that out of the all 3 wanted they have produced, which is his favorite?
Which is his favorite and which is the most fun experience?
Yeah, most favorite and
it's
fun
like asking me to
experience.
pick between my 3 children and which one I like the most.
That's difficult for a parent.
It's I mean you can't really, each one of it has its own unique setups, and the 4th one that we're working on right now, see how I'm actually picking the youngest child. Okay, I'm joking. Okay. I think my favorite experience is 1 to 3. It's amazing the way that Sharvin and the gang and Hira's music and everything came together is something very exciting for me, and I really love that experience. But since 1 to 3 is not out yet, 1 to 2 has a very special place in my heart. Also because it's a very nice story. It's a very nice story in a sense, and 1 to 3 is going to be amazing. Like I personally think it's something that many audiences will relate to. So just hoping you guys can watch it quickly and let me know what you think about it.
So this one is silently choosing all the children.
Yes, yes.
I learned it from parents. I'm
But
sorry,
to
parents.
the audience that who asked this question, are you satisfied with the answer?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, to those who are online, if you have questions, do go ahead and ask because we do not have much time anymore.
How long do we have?
We have another 13
we
minutes
have time.
more, which is like we have mentioned, we promise that we will actually tell you what's going on in March and we'll show you and send you the link and stuff like that. But just hold on a second because we have some more of just a few more questions. So if you want to ask your question, go ahead and drop in the chat box right now, or it's like whoever is here, if you have a question, go ahead and ask right now. So, oh, okay. There is somebody asking. Sandeep. Oh, Sandeep is from Nepal actually. Thank you, Sandeep,
Hi, Sandeep. Thank you for
tuning
joining.
in today. Sandeep is asking, who is your most influential filmmaker?
Oh, this is something I actually wanted to talk about. There's many filmmakers that I really enjoy. Hayao Miyazaki, the person behind a lot of Studio Ghibli films. That's someone I really enjoy. I love new directors. I love Denis Villeneuve. He made Dune. He made Blade Runner 2049. I still think Blade Runner 2049 is one of the most amazing films ever. Kamal Hassan, Indian filmmaker. I think he's amazing. But if you ask me, my personal favorite, most all-time favorite filmmaker is actually a Malaysian filmmaker called Yasmin Ahmad.
Yes.
Yeah, Yasmin Ahmad is my favorite, personally my favorite filmmaker. And if I can make something at least half as good as her movies, I think I've done something very amazing. That's what I personally feel. She's someone who understands Malaysians, what Malaysia is all about, and she gives a very unique perspective of how people are in this country. And I think her films have spoken well. Talentine is my favorite movie of all time. I could watch that movie like 10 times in one sitting if you ask me to, because it's just an amazing movie, you know. It's and her work is so amazing, and she really inspired me to continue telling Malaysian stories. So that's
This is very related to the next question actually. What inspires you? What's the inspiration that you get from these filmmakers, this movie? What's the value that you look at and you extract it and put it in your current film?
Oh, okay. So short story. I took a trip to Ipoh some time back. So if you guys go to Ipoh, there's Yasmin Ahmad's gallery there, which is just a small space with some of her work, her poems, her writing, and so on in that sense. And we met some very interesting people, and I got to go on a walking tour to Ipoh. So it's a walking tour to the locations where she shot certain films. And we went to the school where Talentine was shot. We went to bus stations where she had certain inspiration that came out. And when somebody suggested this tour to me, on hindsight, it sounds like it's just a walking tour around Ipoh. But the fact that you go and stand at the places where she was inspired by something, it really tells you what actually inspires you. And for her, she said something very nice in the sense that she loves Ipoh because Ipoh is it's a very interesting city. When she first came to Ipoh, there were people on the streets who were, they were just shouting at each other and all sorts of things. And she was saying, I love this so much, it's such a good city. I was like, wow. And I realized that, and she said something very nice, that all filmmakers and all storytellers are just people who enjoy living their life, are just people who enjoy watching the sun and talking to people, and they enjoy doing all sorts of different things. Because if you enjoy all these different things, filmmaking will come very naturally to you. Storytelling will come very naturally to you because you take the time to be invested in the world. And for me, my way of being invested in the world is through SMS. So in a way, like, you look at where is your strength, if your strength is in relationship-based movies because you have experienced that a lot, that's your strength. If your strength is in action and high intensity drama kind of thing, because those are the experiences that excite you, that's your deal. But for me, the way I'm living my life is through ET ideas, through Ascendance, through watching people go out of their way to help others. And that's the kind of style that probably will suit me more. But we're just beginning. It's just three small films for now. But there's so many other things we can try out: documentary series, or 6-part series with 6 different people inside, or there's things like participative documentaries. There's so much things we don't know how to do yet. But the more we learn, the more we do, the more we will understand. Yasmin Ahmad did like hundreds of commercials that we all know and love, and eventually she started doing films and so on. So it's a process, and I'm just inspired by the way they live their life. the way they are, the way they speak, the way they see the world. Because and somebody told this to me very nicely when I went for a filmmaking workshop. She was saying that the director doesn't bring much to the plate. The cinematographer brings the camera, the audio person brings the audio, the music brings the music, but the director brings the ideology behind the film.
Stories.
The stories and his personal ideology behind it, his beliefs inside the film, or the person's belief inside the film. So like, and depends on each one of the stories is different lah. Like what you believe in this film. Okay, like hey, I want to tell a story about self-help and making sure that you have friends, and friends are very important. That's because you have a personal ideology that friends are very important. Or it's a film about action and this and that, and the hero rises above everything. That's because you certainly believe that no matter how hard of a struggle you are in, you can actually come out and do things. So you're sharing that ideology and that belief with people, and like I'm still learning how to do that. Yeah.
This leads to another question. This is my
So
personal
many
question.
questions.
Yes. This is my personal question. Okay, there's somebody asking, Sanadt, what's your top 5 movies that you think we should watch? Okay. Wait, hold on. If you want to know, Sanadt, would you be able to release the top 5 movies in your own feed itself?
Okay, can.
Follow Sanadt on his Instagram and his Facebook,
Can.
and you will find out about it. So, okay, so we're going to drop again his Instagram and his Facebook in the chat. Click and follow him, then you'll find out more of what he watched, and you can be inspired too. Because I have this very special question. I really want to ask you this question. Okay, why storytelling?
I get how do you expect me to answer this question? Okay. Why storytelling?
Yeah, you were mentioning earlier about how it brings ideology, how it brings value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
as a
think,
director,
and it's something again. Something that Ramya is the producer of Wanted. Okay. So I keep quoting different people telling me different things because honestly, now you understand. I don't have my own stories. I just tell other people's stories. So I do documentaries, okay? But Ramya told me this yesterday, and I loved what she said. She said that the way to connect the world is through the arts.
Okay.
Like, if you really think about it, and I've seen this happen over the last 4 or 5 days, it's a very small thing that we came out in different newspapers this last 1 week. But the thing I loved the most was everybody started commenting about it. Everybody from different races, from different age groups, from different backgrounds, they all started sharing, saying an inspiring Malaysian story is coming out. They all started sharing, saying, hey, this Malaysian film is something we should watch. People are starting to say, hey, we're so proud of these people. And they haven't seen the film yet. We're so proud of these people doing this thing. And I realized that this small effort that we make, very, very small effort, has brought together a big group of people. Imagine if we do bigger things. Imagine if we keep making movies and keep doing more things. More people are going to unite and come together because they love the arts. So storytelling is the way to connect the world. And the kind of stories we tell, if it's our stories, our own personal stories, we're sharing that with people. We're bringing a very unique perspective to Southeast Asia, to Malaysia, to our own stories. By just choosing to tell stories, by just choosing to become a storyteller. And I feel like that's one way of bringing the world together through sharing experiences, sharing stories, and art. I think art is what brings people together. So hopefully, like I get more opportunities to do more things like this.
Okay. That's what you're doing with Wanted. And I know everybody, we keep talking about Wanted and Wanted 3 and stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to show you a snippet, just a snippet. So if you want to watch the trailer, you can follow Sanadt, which he has the full trailer of it. And but we do in ET Youth Team, we did compile a snippet of it. So I'm just going to play it here and let you watch just a snippet of the trailers of Wanted 3 premiere, and we'll be right back for us to disclose to you what's going on in March. So I hope you enjoy the video. That's what I have told you. It's just a snippet of it. So if you want to know more, go and follow Sanadt on his Instagram, on his Facebook. Go and check it out on is that the trailer is actually on
Yep.
ET Boost also,
Yep,
right?
it's on ET Boost
yeah,
as well.
subscribe to ET Boost right now. You will check out the trailer over there too. I think we have a bit of time to take one last question
Yep.
from Hadi Saiful. So, Mr. Sanadt, as a director and production manager, is there any clashes or fights between colleagues or other workers because of different opinions or ideas?
Yes, I mean all the time. But I think this team of people, they are very young. All of us are very not so experienced enough yet. But they all brought their best to this, and I think more than the fights or anything like that, it's everyone really loved working on this movie. They all loved Jen, they loved his story, they loved telling it so and so that everyone was looking at how can I best tell the story. And I loved it so much because like Sharvin and the entire camera team they just come and tell me what do I need. I say I need this. Can you give me this slide, and whatever. And they just say give me 1 hour, I'll set the whole thing up. And for the next 1 hour, all I have to do is just go and talk to Jen and prepare him and bring him to this place, that place, talk to whoever I need to bring to get him into the zone. So like it's because they're very focused on the goal and they're very focused on how can I best tell the story that I'm able to do what I do in that sense. But I think the whole filmmaking process for working with different people. So like if there's a different team, if there's another people, there'll be different conflicts. And I feel like it's slowly also learning how to manage it in that sense. No?
Yes. It makes me so excited to watch premiere at 133 actually.
Yes.
So I'm so curious right now. What are the things I can feel the passion? Like I mentioned to everyone earlier, 131 and 132 has so much passion, so much love. You can feel it through the screen itself. And I believe 133 is going to be as amazing, or it's just exciting to hear him telling a story behind the scenes of what happening with his team members and what happening with the person, the subject, the person that he interviewed, which is Jen. So what we're going to do right now is going to show you when and where, and we're going to drop in the chat box where can you get your own tickets. So can we pull up? Yes, please pull up the slides here. The tickets is actually available right now on sale for 1/3 shares of life. And what I have heard from is so limited seats, and it's more than about 60%, 70% full. So there's only a few more tickets left. If you want to come and be one of the first few Malaysian that's watching, not if you're not Malaysian, it's also fine. Just come here. Just go to sorry, where's the location again?
It's in Nero Event Space in PJ Performing Arts Center in One Utama Shopping Center, which is a very famous shopping center in Malaysia. So come and join us there. It's at 2 to 5, but come a bit earlier so you will have some photo booths, we'll have some merchandise sales, cough, all sorts of stuff happening there. This event is done in association with PMDK, Persatuan Minda Dynamic Dan Creative. It's an NGO that works on providing opportunities for students. And we're actually going to be bringing a lot of the students that Jen has impacted personally in his life. So you get to also meet the students that benefited from Jen's work in that sense. And it's going to be a really, really fun event. And I hope that many Malaysians can come and watch this film and support this film because it's a fun, interesting, it's our story. It's our story. And I feel like it's very important for all of us to come and celebrate that story with all of us.
Yes, definitely. So like I mentioned, it's limited seats only and tickets are selling like hot cakes. Seriously, hot cakes. Hot cakes. You see, I can't even mention the words anymore. So yes, if you are right, you can just click the link that we have dropped in the chat box. Don't worry about, and if you have missed out the link, don't worry about it too. We are going to drop it in our Telegram groups, so you can also scan the code and follow us follow ET Youth in our Telegram group. We're going to drop all of that information, drop the links there also for you to purchase this ticket for 1/3, the premiere of 1/3, limited seats only. So be part of the first few people in Malaysia to experience such amazing journey with 1/3 and with director Sanadt Kumar. So any last word for all our audiences?
Thank you so much for coming in today. It's very nice to have a huge online audience today with a lot of comments. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for coming and listening to me talk about all sorts of stuff. And mostly, Thank you to Caroline and thank you to the ETU team for arranging such an amazing talk show. I think ETU is doing really amazing work. And like I said, me and many others started from ETU. So continue to support them, continue to come for their events, continue to listen to all the fun ETU speakers that are coming up. And see you guys all on March 26th at PJ Pack Wanutama for the official premiere of Wanted Shades of Life featuring Gengeswaran Munian. We would love to have all of you there. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. Can we please have a round of applause for yourself and also for Sanadt? Okay, that's all from us. Bye-bye.
Bye.